I'm woken up by the sound of my phone going off. I open my eyes to see my cheap apartment covered in the dim light of early day. Sighing, I sit up and slap my hand down on top of my phone, dragging it off my nightstand and onto my face. Hello? Hey Matt, it's Ashley. Not even one sentence, and it's obvious what she wants. But I ask anyway. What do you need? Well, my friends and I sort of have plans for tonight. I was wondering if you could take my night shift? Fine. I need the hours anyway. Rent is due soon. I add the last part for more of my sake than hers. Luckily, I'm not working at all during the day. So I get to stay in and watch TV all day. One cheap sitcom marathon later, I'm gathering my work stuff and heading out the door. I work as a lifeguard at my apartment building's pool. It's a great job, and all I need to do is take the elevator down and then I'm there. Like everything else in the building, the pool is run down and poorly maintained. It's also oddly located. Actually, under the apartment building, completely underground and devoid of sunlight. Exiting the elevator, I walk down a short hallway and reach the plexiglass doors that lead to the pool. Inside, I see the familiar pale green tiles of the pool deck. What I do not see, however, is a lifeguard, even when the pool is supposed to be open and supervised 24/7. Normally, someone abandoning the pool is to be expected, but not during the peak hours of the evening, which is another odd thing. I check my watch and it's 7 p.m. There are almost always people here at this time. I shrug and dismiss it as a lucky break. No people means no need to watch the pool. I walk over to the lifeguard chair and plop down, ready for a very boring night shift. My eyes are caught by something on the chair handle. There are a few drops of blood. The previous lifeguard must have had to deal with some kid that had a bloody nose. That thought reminds me to check who the previous lifeguard was, actually. The boss would be pretty pissed to find out that someone had left the pool unattended. After consulting the schedule, I'm surprised to find that Joe had been working. He's the one person who I would not expect to leave without telling anyone. Nothing can be done about it now, though. After getting some disinfectant wipes, I go back and wipe the blood off the chair. It's not looking like anyone will show up, so I allow myself to be lulled to sleep by the quiet drone of fluorescent lights. I have no idea how long I was asleep for, but I wake up to the sound of children laughing and giggling. I'm so groggy from sleep, I barely open my eyes. The pool is empty, no drowning kids, nothing to worry about. I'm content with this thought as the warm and humid air of the pool pulls me back into a sleep. The next time I wake up, it is to the sound of silence. This time I check my phone to find it's 3 in the morning. I have been asleep for over 7 hours. That thought reminds me of those few groggy seconds when I had woken up. Only now did it dawn on me how odd it was for there to have been children on the pool so late. The pool does seem devoid of children now, so it seems to be fine for me to go back to sleep. As I begin to shut my eyes, my attention is once again drawn to the chair's arm. There's more blood. I could have sworn that I wiped it off, but apparently not. Getting out of the chair, I notice that the floor is wet. There's a trail of water leading from the pool right up to where I had slept. What have those kids been doing? I shrug it off and head to the supplies closet. A few minutes and Clorox wipes later, the chair is clean, and I head over to the trash can as I throw the Clorox wipe in something at the bottom catches my attention. There in the can were the wipes I had used to clean off the previous blood droplets. I knew I had cleaned the chair, but where did the new blood come from? It must have been those kids, as the watery trail to the guard chair proved. The chair, however, tells a different story when I get back. There on the armrest are a few drops of blood. A quick scan of the pool reveals that it's empty, and there's no way any kids could have done it at this time. It dawns on me. The blood is in little droplets like it fell on the chair. I slowly begin to look upwards, and there, coming from the ceiling, is a very small red stain. The ceiling is one of those paneled deals, with large sheets that can be pushed up to reveal the electrical and pipe work of the building. The blood is coming from the edge of one of those sheets. Sighing, I considered calling management, but I knew it would take them weeks to do anything about it. Probably some dead rodent, or maybe someone's cat. Either way, I don't want a disease-ridden blood dripping on me. So I pull in the plastic tables, positioned around the pool under the dripping, and climbed on top of it. I pull in some gloves and ready to clean up whatever it is, and then push the ceiling tile forward and slide it out of the way. I fully extend my shoulders so my shoulders are completely in the ceiling. Only now do I realize I have no way of seeing anything in the dark. So I climb back down and get my phone. On the table again, I use my phone to light up the space. I see nothing at first, but as I turn around, the light catches onto something pale. My eyes widen in realization. It's Joe. This isn't the Joe that I knew. This is Joe. Cold, pale, and very, very dead. His entire throat is gone, torn out by who knows what, and on his face is a small, bloody handprint. Frantically calling out for help on my phone, I stop when I hear a sound below me. Fear prevents me from moving as I hear giggling children and splashing in what had been an empty pool. I'm positive that I did not hear the pool door open. The sound of splashing stops. It is replaced by the unmistakable sound of someone climbing out of the pool, followed by wet footsteps slapping on the pool deck. I'm stuck, frozen with fear, looking into the face of my dead coworker as some unknown creature approaches me from the pool. The footstep stops. The only noise is now from the low buzzing of the fluorescent lights. That and my terrified breathing. I don't know how long I stand there, staring into the face of a dead man, too afraid to move. I pulled out my terrified gaze by something cold and wet, grabbing onto my ankle. I freak out. I rip my leg of whatever is holding onto it, but in the process I lose my footing. Falling on the table, I smack my head as everything gets fuzzy and begins to fade to blackness. I can only make out the silhouette of a child looking down on me. As unconsciousness rolls over me before I can do anything about it, my eyes open and I'm still lying on the pool deck. The only sound is the continuous hum of the fluorescent lights. The initial grogginess wears off and I remember what had happened. Rather than trying to stay and find out what happened, I do what I consider the logical thing and book it out of the pool. I sprint to the door and yank the handle. It doesn't budge. It's not locked. The mechanism isn't jammed. The door just refuses to move. I'm thoroughly freaked out now. I walk back over to the lifeguard table. The ceiling tile is still pushed to the side, and there's a significant puddle of blood near the lifeguard chair. Aside from making me gag, it also makes me wonder how long I was out. A quick look at the wall clock reveals it's 7 in the morning, which means my replacement was due an hour ago. I lean over the schedule and read it to find it's Ashley supposed to be there. I think back to the phone call that brought me into this mess, which reminds me that I have my phone. How was I so stupid? I reach for it and hope to God that I can call for help. Before my hand grabs the phone, there's a sound of laughter and splashing in the pool behind me. I really, really don't want to turn around. That pool had just been empty, and with all the crap going on, I'm quite positive that what I see in that pool will not be good. But curiosity won out over fear. So I take a deep breath and turn around. The pool is empty, yet I still hear the sounds of children playing. The pool's surface seems calm at first, but after a few seconds I start to make out a ripple in the center. The sounds of children grew louder, and as they do, the ripples become more rapid. They keep getting louder and louder, the sound of fun beginning to turn to terror. The children's screams no longer joyous, but horrified, blood boiling like nails on a chalkboard. All the while, the pool water becomes more disturbed. It's no longer ripple. It's violently thrashing, starting to throw the water into the pool deck. An impossible whirlwind begins to form in the pool. I stare in terror as a figure begins to rise out of the center. At first it appears to be a child, but I instantly realize that's wrong. It isn't even human. Sure, it resembles a human, but it lacks any sort of color or distinguishable features. The figure is such a dark black that it almost seems to be two-dimensional. I take an unconscious step back, my body desperate to be away from the creature, but my mind too captivated by the horror and impossibility of it. Then, it's gone. No proof or anything. The figure that was in the pool is just gone. The screaming is gone. The pool is no longer convulsing. I stand in shocked silence. Eventually, my mind recovers enough for me to move. Again, I decide to try the door. I turn to face it and scream. Something is coming through the door. Holy shit, what is wrong with you, man? Ashley says, staring at me like I'm crazy. You, the pool, Joe. Damn, Matt, what the hell is up with you? Breathe. All I can think of to say is, you're late. Yeah, man, so what? Chill. It's more money in your pocket anyway. She says distractedly as her phone starts to buzz. She picks it up. Hey, sup? Oh, Joe, you can take my daily shift today? Hell yeah, man, I owe you one. How could she be talking to Joe? I turn to look at the pool. Everything's normal. The pool deck is dry. There's no blood dripping from the ceiling. Even the table I had moved was back to where it normally was. I'm pulling out the days by Ashley. Yo, Matt, I got Joe taking my shift. He should be here any minute. So I'm gonna head out. You should get some rest, man. You look like you've seen a ghost or some shit. I just nod as she leaves, still staring dumbly at the normal pool. A minute later, the pool door creaks open behind me. Hey, Matt, how's it going? He's alive. He's alive! Turning around and seeing him there made me seem just a little bit better. All I could muster is to give him a nod and say, Fine, I'm fine, Joe. Returning to my apartment, I go straight to my bed and flop down face first. I must have one hell of a dream, except it was so vivid. The last thing I do before I fall asleep is set my phone on the floor next to my bed. Due to the fact my phone is lying on the floor, I do not notice it buzzing. Just a text. And first, then multiple. Then phone calls. It's not until 8 hours later that I get up and check my phone to discover what it was. 5 new texts, all from Joe. Hey man, any idea where those bloody Clorox wipes in the trash came from? Matt, I know this sounds weird, but would you mind coming and keep me company? Alright, there's some weird shit going on. And I don't know if this is some prank, but it ain't funny, man. Yo, what the fuck is this? Answer my calls, damn it. I know you're doing this somehow. Help. The last text is from 5 hours ago. I get ready to go downstairs to try to check on him. A pit forms in my stomach as I see the flashing red and blue lights in the parking lot. 3 minutes later, I'm told by a police officer in the lobby that Joe was drowned in the pool, and then seemingly had his throat cut. The only lead they had so far is a small, bloody